in LWX and P. Diddy, maybe that's going to be a level up. But for them, they don't know. They're bringing in somebody who really, they haven't had that experience.
Yeah, and just from my perspective as someone who cast the NA LCS, this seems like a sort of situation with TSM, where every game you want to take completely 100% seriously, as TSM did last split, going undefeated but for one single best of 3.
A good example coming out of here would be EDG, where they were undefeated in the split.
Exactly.
So for me, it just feels like you have to start strong. We've seen teams that haven't taken it seriously, like LGD. They slack until that 7th week, and they're like, hey, we're strong now, but it doesn't matter.
It's already too late at that point. The point distribution is so low. But we've loaded onto the Rift. You can see the very scenic zoom across all of the map. A little bit of bullet time. That's some rain over in Tribush. Could you imagine if we had weather effects?
I would be, you know what I'd be interested in? Bullet rain here in Sydney. That's what I'm interested in.
Actually, preferably not bullet rain here in Sydney. So, according to like Mythbusters, bullets falling from the sky at terminal velocity can't kill, but they can really hurt.
Oh, you know what? I don't want to test it. I really don't. But thank God for Mythbusters.
I'm pretty sure they did it with like coins, and they were like, "Oh, bullets are about the same weight. Let's do it." Oh yeah. Turns out. I forget the name of the mannequin that they always use.
Oh, it's the same one.
Yeah. But anyways, we're here onto the Rift. No mannequins here, as WE are taking on Newbie. And so far, standard defensive lines all across, both the duos on that bottom side.
So what I like from WE is they have a stronger top side of the map here. Orianna is a great matchup into Cassiopeia. She's going to actually have that range to really push her in as well. Top side should shove into Maokai versus Poppy. No one's interested in, but you have to be if you're a coach or if you're a part of that team, because you do want a lane to have shoved in properly so you can work around. So Condi might actually have to work towards top side, or maybe even bottom side if he's worried about Varus and Misfortune kind of shoving in this lane here.
You can see the bullet rain getting some damage there. P. Diddy forced to back away from Zero, as a lot of the harass from that Ashe and Zyra has gotten them the temporary wave advantage to half a minion.
And that's the thing. You know what? We saw that Q arrow from Varus come through. It didn't do a lot of damage, but he's going to be maxing it first. Yeah. We've seen a few people max E first, so the hailing arrows, but Q does a lot of damage. And especially since these Varuses here in the bottom lane are not going to be going tier, it's going to continue to do more damage.
Oh, yeah. And as you said, Newbie, they picked to win lane if they've got that very mobile, swift Lee Sin, who's already now in the river clearing out Scuttle Crab. He's been spotted out and is forced to back away. Rek'Sai tunnels over the wall. That's Condi there. Ooh, steals it away with the knock-up and reduced armor.
That was very good for Condi, especially since Newbie's bottom lane, or at least bottom side of the map, should be very powerful. If they have vision, or at least that speed boost coming in the river, that's going to mean a lot. You're going to have to be worried about it.
Yeah, and taking a look at the fan vote, this is almost as tilted as the fan vote yesterday. 85% in favor of WE, whereas yesterday it was 87% in favor of RNG, but they got 2-0'd. Following the pattern.
I mean, you should have faith in WE. They're looking very strong. If you're looking into this league, it's going to be WE all the time. And if you're looking at Newbie, you're like, I've been far too frustrated with you.
Actually, can you extrapolate causality from 2 points of data? Because there was, I don't think you can. I think you need 3 points as a comparison.
You know what? I'll leave that one to you.
Okay.
I'll believe you on that one. I'll give that one to you.
Condi continuing to clear out, just barely spotted out by the fading of a ward placed by Cool. But he's playing safe in lane.
That's the thing we should talk about, is the fact that, I mean, Cool's going to have to show something here.
Ooh, Condi's in range for the flash knockup. She is right there. And Cool ghosts. He knows. He can see it coming.
I guess he had the movement speed on that. He did definitely have the ghost. Of course, he still keeps the flash, and that's the thing about mid laners these days. Ghost, flash, you have so much mobility. Doesn't matter if you're an immobile champion of Cassiopeia. You have a lot of options.
Ooh, Wushin is caught by the snare and flashes, but the plant forces the heal out. That's P. Diddy running for his life under turret, and the arrow, panic arrow, just further encourages Mystic and Zero to farm.
Welcome to the LPL here, buddy. It looks like you're already having a rough time. So this is a really tough lesson, and you have to learn it going up against Mystic and Zero. That, you know, it doesn't matter if you have the proper matchup. You're still going up against proper players.
Oh, yeah. That is a lot of damage if you get caught by the snare. So far with that early recall, that's a cull first out of LWX. And Swift even shows up in the mid lane to help clear this wave out for Cool, who's at very low mana.
And let's focus in on that cull, because right now, I mean, P. Diddy not having a good time there. But the fact that he has to come back into this lane with a call, sure, you know what, yeah, it's efficient. Oh, you know, you come back with 100 minions and suddenly you have 300 something gold. And that's the problem with me is that, you know, Mystic is probably going to be coming back with a BF sword, much stronger items, and he's just going to keep snowballing. He should stay in this lane. I know he's playing with us with his back in there, but if he stays in this lane to accrue more gold, he will be in a much better position.
Yeah, he was thinking about it right there, just in case there was a ward in that bush, but decides to stay instead. Meanwhile, in the other side of the map, 957 is going to teleport right on back along with V, as they both are dead even in CS. I think Rusty said it best, that matchup is potatoes.
I mean, it may be potatoes, but it's a stronger potato versus a weaker potato. So the stronger potato here is 957. As you just saw, he's shoving him in, and that's all you really need if you're a Rek'Sai, because if you're a Rek'Sai here, you're thinking, I need a place to, you know, create some pressure on this map. And the top side should be that is a major pressure point for you, especially if you have Xie and 957 bringing it home.
We'll have to see if they can do that later on. As things are nice and slow early on, 6 minutes in, standard recalls. Looks like we're getting another recall out of LWX, and Mystic decided not to go for the BF sword. Instead, went for the fully completed Berserker Greaves, and LWX is going to answer with boots and a dagger of his own.
That's fair. It works with your Q as well, because once you get the autos going off, you can activate that Q. It can really work well for you. It works well for trades, so I'm a fan of it. He probably came back to base with a pretty awkward gold amount too, so not going to get that BF sword. I'm fine with it, man. I understand.
Yeah, LWX not missing out on too many CS just yet. Xie continues to farm in the mid lane. Lost Chapter versus Tyr.
Oh.
Cool continuing to play it back nice and safe.
This is that's not nice and safe at all.
No?
Because Cool is in a really poor position. He needs his jungler to actually help him out here, because he can't walk forward and have that pushed in, or Xie is going to punish him. And so with that being said, that means that Condi actually has an opening here in which he can gank mid. So it's not that bad for him now, but he has to watch out how he shoves in that lane. It's even now, but he can't put himself in that position.
Sitting on top of that ward, Xie trying to pull that Cassiopeia out to the side, but does not. As blue buff gets handed over to Xie, Cool is going to have his own spawning in just a few as Swift heads over there. Because the top side starts, it's staggered by about 20-30 seconds based on those junglers. Swift, you can see, securing his red buff.
All it really means is that Condi here and Swift, they're both manaless junglers. They don't need blue buff.
Yeah.
They can hand it off to their friend, especially with Xie getting it first. That's going to be a little more difficult for Cool. I mean, what's going to make it difficult is the fact that this bottom lane is already rotating up to mid.
Mystic has got the arrow ready. Swift face checks in. He's snared. He's arrowed. Exhaust gets him away. Flash autos the blast cone before warding over the wall and escapes.
If you're WE looking at that play, you're going to be looking at the preseason patch and saying, why was this here? Why is there a blast cone? That wasn't 100% kill. But, you know, Swift's going to be pretty damn happy about that. Saved his life off of the fact that they had no vision in that river.
Oh. Okay, he gets it. It was close. It had, I think, 1 tick left on the patience before it would have reset.
But I like this from WE. They're making moves, and they recognize that Xie got that blue buff a little bit earlier. He was able to push in. He had that bottom lane coming in as well. It looks like if you're a newbie here, sure, you came out of that well. Lee Sin didn't die. But you have to be a lot more worried and tuned in with this bottom lane, because even if they're in a poor matchup, the moment they get a proper shove, they will look for something.
And you can sort of see that in how the players of Newbie are playing right now. Cool, trying to play back under his turret, knows that he's putting himself in compromising situations from time to time as Condi invades. Ooh. He sees Swift now. He's got his. He doesn't actually have his smite. It's full on cooldown. Swift is going to have his first, so just decides to tunnel away. Can't go for the steal.
You know, he was thinking about it. He was prowling. He was a cat in there. He was just figuring out if he wanted to actually take that fight, and he recognized that bottom lane's not going to be there to do that. So that was a smart decision for him.
Just another snake in the grass. Meanwhile, everything else is, to continue on that point though, LWX and P. Diddy are playing very safe as well with that call, shoving the wave out, recalling and sitting back as it finds itself in neutral.
I mean, Ashe right now, Ashe and Zyra, they're kind of holding that wave a little bit. And this is what I love to see is that WE, they're in a great position. It doesn't look like it from the gold stats. I mean, technically it does. That's turning into a 0.5, you know, a 500 gold lead. But overall, they're winning in the top side as they should. Ooh. He felt the win there.
Yeah.
Mid lane's winning as he should. And in the bottom lane, even though they shouldn't be winning in that lane, they are because they are good. So WE right now starting on the right track.
So far, minor CS lead as Cool is going to give it the old jungle tax. Ocean Drake is up. Xie looks to clear this out. There is Scuttle Crab control for Newbie, so no sneaky dragon plays.
It's going to last for about maybe 30 seconds. So the fact that this they're keeping the pink control here strong is very good. That's that's longevity for you because that real link into the bottom lane. I guess they don't even need that because Condi is looking for this play right now.
Yeah, finds his way bottom. Snare misses LWX, but he tries to engage onto Mystic, forcing the kill, but cannot ignite on Mystic. Xie in the mid lane. Ooh, dies to the poison. So close, but Cool gets it.
He needed someone to check that coffee for him before he drank it. It was poisonous. Didn't work out for him. So I guess it's a 1-for-1 trade overall, but WE's looking for this tower here.
They are trying to get that first turret gold. They are not able to burn through the minions wholly and completely as it's held out. Here's that play in the mid lane.
Oh, I guess he was just looking for the damage. Unfortunately, it seems like Swift can land his Q. That was all he really needed.
Yeah. Not even getting the Dragon Rage out of Swift to help that out, but the poison take will secure it in the end.
That's pretty unlucky because WE actually had a great cross-map play that was working out. If Xie had relaxed a little bit more, especially with that bottom lane play happening, then they would have gotten that free, clean play. And on top of that, not only would Xie been on the map, so with WE recognizing that, they probably even could have gotten tower for that. So overall, sure, that was it didn't work out well. It was a trade overall, but that was still a great play from WE.
We'll have to see if they can make more plays like that happen as they have got opportunities to. Teleport now available for both top laners, and 957 with his recall. Ooh. He's sitting on Fountain right now. Let's see if he decides to teleport or walk back.
All right, P. Diddy, you better watch yourself. You may be a fantastic artist, but if you're walking in there on your own, checking wards, checking bushes, I know he used his trinket, but there could have simply been someone there, and you didn't have your jungler. So that's just a lesson for you people out there. Solo warding doesn't help you out. It's a risky play.
I have been completely wrong in solo play.
Ooh.
Swift over the wall, eat some damage. Mystic is going to hold on to the Enchanted Crystal Arrow as WE now pressure back. One single ward on the backside of red buff for Newbie, so most of WE are in darkness right now.
Yeah, and this is just because WE has been controlling this side of the map so damn well. Whoa.
Again, the arrow is let loose. I
mean, my heart there. My heart kind of stopped just a little bit. Lee Sin has been feeling that wind a little bit, but maybe he's going to go on to this?
Condi is found by the Sonic Wave as the rest of Newbie start to collapse on this.
And these are really good plays that WE is looking for because they're keeping consistent wards here. Maokai's looking for something, and he awkwardly walks away.
A little optimistic. He was hoping for the point and click.
He thought he had a team there. He's probably just typing a question mark.
Question mark ping? I'm sure there are plenty of question mark pings going on in chat right now. As Newbie now find themselves to roam just a little bit quicker, reclaim vision over this river. Yeah, they really need to because LWX and PDD right now, they're having a tough time. They're not that far behind. It's literally only 3 CS, but it's just a really awkward position, especially since Ash is... that was close. Yeah. But blue buff is going to be gifted over to Xie. Right over the wall is Swift. He's not moving right now. They don't think he's there. Yeah, Cool shoved the minion wave into the turret. He needs to watch out. It's going to be a long Sonic Wave. Here he comes around. Ward hops in. That's the insect into the wall. Stun is going to find it. Xie goes down. Swift is knocked up, though, and dies to Condi in return. Another 1-for-1. That was a really smart play from Swift. He was hugging that wall, so you know what? Rek'Sai didn't know. Rek'Sai walked past. And so Rek'Sai thought that, Lee Sin was not there at all. And so he confirmed a suspicion that was not true. So he walked away. You got the kill. Luckily enough, Condi was there to kind of get the trade back. But that's a good play that Swift was looking for. Certainly was. Continuing to try to pressure WE just a bit as the game is still dead even in gold. As we start to get close to that 15-minute mark. Still no big explosive fights over Baron and Dragon. So far it's all been posturing, sort of testing the waters. Do they have a weakness here? Do they have a strength here? It's definitely posturing, but WE is making a lot more plays, essentially. I mean, sure, the last play Swift was make was pretty good. It was pretty hot, but it was the only play that I saw from Newbie that meant anything. For WE, they were constantly looking for plays. Sure, Ash is missing a few ultis, but regardless of that, you make a few more plays, and one of them's going to hit. Yeah. Eventually. As long as eventually Mystic's going to hit an arrow.
They're optimistic arrows. I mean,
hope.
sure, the first one probably should have killed. I'm not going to lie. That one was a good arrow.
Yeah.
It was in close range. The moment you start taking longer range, sure, you may have had stronger vision in that river, but he's going to have some time to react. So you should, especially if it's a Lee Sin, he's going to be able to dodge it with his Warthog.
Yeah, Swift was really on his toes, though, by hopping to the blast cone and then getting away. Kandi, though, looks like he wants to make a play. As you mentioned, WE are the first to act yet again.
They're persistent. Here we go.
Ooh. Arrow misses P. Diddy, but now he's separated from his team. Luckily, though, Swift comes on down. So it turns into a 3v3 with even the mid laners starting to roam towards that side.
Yeah, they're kind of on their toes here. You know, that's a nice... I probably shouldn't have said that because Cassiopeia exists, but...
She's on the tip of her tail.
Definitely. And so they were looking to see if a fight was going to start. That's great from both of them. I want to highlight Cool because he hasn't been playing for a little bit. And so the fact that he's been on his game so far, especially with a lot of pressure coming from the bottom lane, he's been doing quite well for himself. 1-0-1, even in CS kind of, against a matchup that should be against him.
Certainly doing rather well so far. He was able to land that very clutch ultimate onto Xie after the insec of Swift, so following up when the opportunity presents itself. In the top lane, however, things are still fairly stagnant. Spirit Visage versus Chain Vest and Ninja Tabby, and even in CS. So we're still just watching those junglers and duos as they roam around the bottom side.
They're really, really looking towards this dragon. I mean, the dragon may be the dueling ground, but they definitely want the fight. The first fight that happens here is definitely going to be the win.
Oh, man.
Oh, meow.
Do you think he knows?
I mean, he definitely doesn't, but he's aware of the situation, especially since Poppy's back at base. Still has TP, but you don't want to wait for those 4 seconds or 5 seconds of just stalling out. So
Please don't die. Oh, no.
I mean, it's going to happen. So right now, Cool has been really understanding the pressure coming through.
Yeah, and you can see how WE are playing around the dark side of the map as they have found Newbie trying to answer back on the Tribush. Mystic, while that play was going on, was sitting under his turret outside of vision from Newbie. So just the imaginary threat of there being someone here. Schrodinger's Ashe.
There's a lot of Schrodinger this game. This is what I'm really proud about, because you talk about the LPL, a lot of questions are, can they, vision control? Do they understand what that means? Are they just fighting...
tactical plays
time after time, but this entire game has been a smart one. So I really do like that specifically from Newbie, because we kind of downplay them a lot. I mean, as a whole, we all do, for good reason from what they've done from this split and the last split. But they've been doing it well and looking for this dragon here.
Oh yeah, the Cassiopeia is going to shred through it very quickly. P. Diddy even coming to help out, as Swift is going to help secure the first Ocean Drake of the series.
That was a great timing there. They recognized that Ashe was back at base. And, Newbie, or at least WE, didn't want to look for that place, and Newbie took advantage of it, got that dragon for themselves.
Holy cow, Zyra does a lot of damage.
Yeah, a bit too much.
That is so very strong. At least it's not a Ziggs, though.
I mean.
Oh, goodness.
All right. You know what?
Swinging right on by. He was waiting. Zero was ready with the ultimate.
I think we should be calling Swift Spider-Man. He's pretty swift. I mean, he's pretty fast.
He sort of flattened himself against the wall there. Ooh!
He recognized it coming before he even has vision of it. He has this Spidey senses coming through.
He kind of had to breathe in for that. Suck in the chest. There we go. And however, that's half the health on that turret chipped away over the course of that trade. Now that the first Drake has been secured, GA finds himself roaming towards the bottom side. Kandi to help him out over the wall.
Definitely a great ward coming through Newbie here. They recognize this is happening. They might even be able to make a counterplay. Cassiopeia is in position.
Ooh, another snake in the grass, looking for the slow. Kandi, he's away from this, but Insect knocks him into the wall, out of the tunnel.
That was beautiful. He knocked him out of the tunnel. That's exactly what you said. That was an amazing timing that Kandi was going through, but it was like, looking at that play, I was like, Swift, you know what? Even if you kick him, that's not going to matter. He saved his tunnel. Yeah. He was like, well, guess what? There's that 0.5 seconds that he's through his tunnel, and I'm just going to kick him.
The buffering animation.
That's so good.
That's what 0 milliseconds of lag can do for you.
You know what? 60 ping. Yeah, he doesn't have it. You're on land, buddy. You can do anything you want.
Yeah.
Very inspirational.
Absolutely, absolutely. With 0 ping, you can do anything you want. I don't feel like we should be advertising that to kids at home, though.
You know what? You want dreamers out there.
Yes. However, WE will get the quick rotation on this turret. Chain of Corruption finds Mystic. He's still got both summoners. Sonic Wave misses. Cool Ghosts The knockup creates a large zone. Flash is not going to be enough to get the ultimate as they kite it back. Swift is in the front. Mystic is going to help out, bringing down one. Cool goes in, and that's the shockwave to pull P. Diddy back in. V completes his teleport before running away as 957 gets the better position, allowing for the double kill.
Oh my, that was ridiculous. I thought that was a great play coming from Newbie. They recognized that, sure, we lost that first tower, but we're going to be looking for this play. Cassiopeia was there first, was in position, and we're going to take a look at this replay, because take a look at it. Mystic, or at least Zero, had a target on his back. And he was going to get immediately demolished. Not only does he dodge the arrow, he dodged the ulti, he dodged the miasma. And so Cool was in a position where he was exhausted, got demolished. Chie was there too. It was very bad for Newbie.
It certainly was, and now it is 5-3 in favor of World Elite. At 20 minutes, almost exactly, they win their first big fight after taking an objective. So now you might imagine them to be even more empowered as Infinity Edge and Runan's now finished up on Mystic. You can already see the Lich Bane now in progress for Xie.
All of these kills are going on to Ash.
Yeah.
And he has what he needs. He has that Runan's Hurricane, he has that Infinity Edge, and he's about to have his ulti. So if you're a team right here, I mean, sure, he's top side of the map, but he should be looking towards this mid lane. They should be looking for as many traps as possible so they can get the plays going. They're in position now, I'd say.
Yeah, speaking of traps, some skirmishing for position around the river. Snare is going to miss out of Zero, as Cool and Xie now have got both of their teams flanking on the opposite sides. However, LWX is still in the top lane. You can see Mystic now heading into the jungle. He's got that arrow ready.
I mean, he doesn't even need to use it. This pressure coming through from WE is so crisp, so clean, because look at the pink wards being set up. Sure, the first good portion of this game, it was in the bottom side of the map. They finally got that tower, and now they're setting up for top side.
Oh, the arrow doesn't quite catch P. Diddy, but Kandi's doing a lot of damage. Not able to burn through his health, however.
But he did enough. Half HP. If this man doesn't have pots, and he definitely does not, he's going to have that difficult decision of sticking to the lane and possibly getting dove or backing outright. And I guess he's eating some pots. I guess he used it while I was having that discussion.
He's nomming as many biscuits as he possibly can. Heal me, heal me.
He's just fattening himself up.
Trying to get ready. Gingerbread P. Diddy. Oh, boy. Anyways, taking a look at the rest of the map, we've got a recall out of V as he heads back down the mid lane.
We got a recall out of P. Diddy, so right now this is a great position. Rek'Sai is there. Varus is alone. If they shove this up quickly, this is their time to shine.
It certainly is. Mystic still doesn't have the arrow just yet, but Kandi is flanking in that tri-bush.
Nah, they're backing away from it, especially since Orianna needs to get that back going. She has a Luden's Echo, so this is a fantastic back timing for Orianna, so they made the decision that they're not going to look for this dive.
Meanwhile, 957 returns to his native habitat with V in that bottom lane. Still even in CS as the tanks just wet noodle it out.
I'm very proud of Cool. I mean, I'm just looking at this game. At every moment, I'm just expecting the rustiest of mid laners. I'm like, this guy is going to have potato fingers. I know you're playing solo queue, but solo queue doesn't mean much to me. But he's understood how much pressure is coming towards the mid lane, especially through legitimately every member. Maokai was roaming through, Ashe was coming through from the bottom, and at every point, he was like, you know, I'm going to play it back. I'm going to call my team. He's played it really smart, really safe, and at this point,
he did attempt to make one play in the bottom lane, however, when he tried to go for the solo 1v3 flank. It was a great idea.
I loved it. It didn't work out well.
Yeah.
Zero was a bit too good of a player and was able to flash through both the Varus Q and his ulti.
Yeah.
So it was a great play. You know, honestly, I probably would have wanted Newbie to follow that up a little bit more, but overall, I've been really liking Cool's play today.
Yeah. Certainly performing very well, keeping even in CS. Shockwave pulls him back, however. He's got no flash. Auto attack is going to give Zero the kill, and World Elite, WE, are already on that Mountain Drake as it respawns.
You make 100 attempts on a man's life. One of it's going to work, and that one is the only one that matters.
Oh, man.
They get this dragon here, which I'm really happy about. So right now, WE is just stacking up. They went to the grocery store. They just bulked up, and right now, if you're Newbie, you're just begging for a few biscuits, saying, you know what, I don't have any money to go to the store. Can you lend me something? WE's just saying, no, not happening.
Not at all. They're now going to continue pressuring up in that mid lane with Cool dead. A lot of that wave clear is going to rest on P. Diddy. He's locked down and cleaned up by 957 and Xie.
Oh, Swift. Swift recognized there was no way he was going to help him out. He was just like, maybe, wait, can we set up for a play? Maokai just W'd him. Wait, what can I do? I can't do anything.
So taking stock of this, now the top tier 1 has also fallen. That's all of the tier 1 turrets. WE are now 3 turrets ahead, a solid 4,000 gold up, simply off of all of the posturing that they've finally been able to convert into minor picks here and there.
If you can name a stat, WE is right now topping it. Other than the CS in the bottom lane, we're not going to look at that. We're not going to look at the fact that Varus right now has a little bit more CS. But who cares? 3 kills. I'm happy about that. WE right now has been showing up fantastically. And this is exactly what we expected.
It certainly is. 1 game away from Worlds, and they're coming into this match against Newbie. Oh, another shockwave. Cool has got a splash this time, however. Condi is going to eat some damage as Cool tries to kite it out, going for a very strong play as he burns his ghost. But teleport is started and canceled by V, and 957 has still got his.
That was a great reaction from Cool. Not only did he ult the Rek'Sai, but he also put him in miasma, means he can't flash, he can't tunnel, he tunneled in, but he just simply could not make that play happen, so he was safe. But now that Cool has in the back of his head that he's going to get messed up anytime he's in Orianna's ulti range.
You just saw the gold on the bottom of your screen. Xie and Mystic both 1,000 gold ahead of their counterparts. And taking a look at those top laners, it's only about 200 difference. In the jungle, it's another 1,000 gold in favor of Condi. So WE are distributing their gold rather appropriately.
What did Orianna just buy? She had 2.5k gold, and she just purchased everything. So it looks like she's actually going into the... Ooh, that's a Rabadon's death cap that she's going into. So that's she's going to have a lot of AP.
If you are caught by the sombrero, you are going to take a lot of damage.
The last time that sombrero went through, that was half of Cool's HP. Now it just feels like he can actually just kill him with an ulti and a W. So I'm really going to be interested right now in Cool and what happens to his life, because it's going to be really difficult for him to go through in a win, in a situation to win out in.
I thought that was supposed to be the trade-off in items. You get Luden's Echo if you want the quick extra spell damage now, and Rabadon's if you want the damage later. You're not supposed to do both.
No, actually, if you have Rabadon, you just get more AP because the multiplicative the magic damage comes through. You're doing so much AP, and that's right now. What I'm interested in is the fact that he doesn't have a lot of magic penetration. We are seeing a lot of MR coming through, specifically on Poppy, specifically on Lee Sin.
Ooh, the arrow is dodged by Swift. Very fast reaction as he gets to the side of it.
That's like the 4th attempt on this man's life with arrow.
Yeah.
You just got to stop trying at some point. That's a flash off him, so I guess he can't make a play with his flash. He'd probably go for a ward hop play. So that possibility.
Newbie are running it down mid right now. They've got the minion wave, 957 teleporting from behind. They could want this fight as the turret is low. It's 5v5. Back goes the Stranglethorns, knocking them up, and that's going to be the elimination of one, traded over for another. As Condi gets kicked back out, but 957 is so tanky in the front. It's up to Xie and Mystic to try to get back in there. Protected, and the Shockwave finds one for enormous damage as V is forced to retreat. Cool still doing enormous damage on the side. He's got that flash summoner, but 957 will not let V go. The auto attack is going to do it as Xie follows with a flash of his own. Swift with a very greedy recall is forced to back away as Cool hops over the wall from a blast cone. Xie can see it. He can see it. Oh, he wants it so bad, but he just can't get it.
Maokai's coming.
957 though. Pulling the minion wave. Oh, man. Cool does not like this. He's going to take a lot of damage from that Cassiopeia, however. Oh, no. And Cool goes down. Meanwhile, Mystic is in the mid lane saying, team?
I just want to take it all back because that was a long situation. And just take a look at this. Maokai coming in for a flank. Zero gets demolished because he was trying to set up that play, and it looks bad for WE. Ash gets punted across the map. Gets a 3-point kick over there. But overall, it looked awful for WE, except for the fact that 957 just has HP for days. And so they re-engage on that. The ulti comes through. That looks beautiful. And it just doesn't stop.
Yeah, that is a Maokai. Whoa. The flash auto attack. Are we going to see the chase all the way up? No, we're not.
No, that's just useless time. And honestly, we see a lot of bans when it comes to Maokai, and this is just one of those regions. It looks like they're going for the Baron.
Yeah, they are rushing this thing down right now, and Newbie have got no idea that this is happening, despite the fact that 957 was dead. WE find the blind spot in Newbie's vision and secure the Baron 29 minutes in.
There was a blue trinket there, but it was definitely cut out, the vision was cut off because of that control ward. So they definitely saw them going into the pit, but they didn't think that was going to get killed off so quickly. So right now, WE getting an amazing win for themselves and a Baron on top of that.
Yeah, that single Mountain Drake that W have just helping so very much is now with Baron. They get a very large recall. The Rabadon's death cap is finished. Lord Dominic's Regard finally finished for shredding through that Poppy. And is that a Sheen? That is a Sheen on 957. He's going to go for this slow, you're never escaping this Maokai build.
Oh yeah, that gauntlet. That's
yeah,
what I like.
Iceborne.
I like to call it the icy fists.
Yes, Ice Fist.
Smack them with ice.
I don't know if it's still true, but I thought for a while you could search Ice Fist and find it in the shop.
I don't know what you can say. I just don't do it. I look for it. I hate searching things.
Going through, yeah. I know you can search Spooky Ghosts, and it'll give the Frost Queen's Claim item.
Huh. I mean, no one builds it now, so that
yeah.
So I guess that solves
There's
that
no real
problem.
reason to do that, but if you ever wanted to search for things, we include all the funny names for the items.
Yeah, just taking a look at this game right now, because WE, they're definitely looking for this bot lane tower. I mean, they don't have the mid lane tower. Mystic did kill that fairly early on because of that last fight. So if you're a newbie, you got to watch out. You know the play's coming.
Yeah, they certainly do know, as they have prepped, and they are all grouped up under the Tier 2. Going to try to clear through these minions, but the reduced damage is so strong. Mystic is able to attack over the Miasma. Swift is on the outside with V, but they're spotted out by a ward. And that turret in a single minion wave is chipped down to half.
Yeah, they can wave after wave. 957 is so incredibly tanky. Hell, they don't even need to wait for a wave. They just shielded up 957 in his massive pool of HP, and they're just leading him in. So if you're a newbie, you have to set up for a play. It looks like they're going to maybe dabble in the idea of it, but it's going to be really, really difficult.
Yeah, there's actually a minion wave pushing in the mid lane. Swift is going all the way around, but the turret has already fallen. Here comes V. Swift is on the outside. This is a little convoluted. Shie gets kicked back in. They've managed to catch him snare, and he actually goes down before getting the ultimate off. Meanwhile, the rest of the fight is changing around. V's trying to do what he can, but he actually does get the knockback. It's 957 on his own,
my
and
God.
he's still able to get a kill. Zero has finally rejoined the fight along with Condi and Mystic, and they are trying to clear this up. Condi is going to run for his life, but Mystic heals it right back up, turning it in WE's favor.
You know what? I guess I'm going to put it in my binder. Maokai does damage.
Yes.
I was a little bit worried because Poppy's ulti was fantastic. Kicks out the damage dealers. Mystic was once again punted out of the fight. And they're like, you know what? Maokai's like, I got this. I'm the damage dealer. Put me in there.
Mystic hasn't finished just yet. Cool gets flashed upon by Condi, and Mystic cleans up yet another kill. The inhibitor will fall.
That feels like that's the game. These are long death timers here, and you have your AD carry, and you have the major tank with GA.
They're continuing to push forward. P. Diddy's doing what he can to keep the game alive. And finally, we're going to see WE back away. And for now, Newbie are still alive.
Whew, you know, you just got to take a deep breath there if you're Newbie. You got to relax. You lost a lot. you almost lost your home there. I mean, you definitely got intruded on. That's a difficult situation to come into. But there's still some hope. It's a difficult one to say, but they got some playmaking potential in Swift's Lee Sin kick, and they still have a Poppy. So if they can set up these plays, especially with Vera still having ulti, anything is possible. Maybe they get a good pick. It just can't be on Maokai. Stay away from this man. Or tree.
Yeah, 957 is enormous. Holy cow. 1, 2, and 7. Meanwhile, 1, 0, and 6 on Condi. And even taking a look at the carries, Shie and Mystic, 5, 3, and 5, 6, 1, and 3.
And this is going to be a little bit of a tiny rant, a small one, because we know about lethality. Lethality, you can't really have some proper armor penetration in the early point of the game. I mean, right now you're level 17. It's starting to matter, but they're not really building it, of course, because the early portion is too much of an investment. And so Maokai's taking advantage, saying, I've got myself some Iceborne gauntlets. I got a Sunfire cape here. I've got so much cheap item purchases here, including the ninja tabbies, that he doesn't care about the damage coming through.
The arrow catches Cool, and immediately the rest of WE follow up. Cool is going to be cut in half as the teleport is canceled out by V. Even the Sonic Wave over the side is not enough to stop WE as they finish off this final Tier 2 turret.
Ooh, that's a depressing one. I knew he couldn't do anything if he joined up, so he's going to waddle on over to the top lane, maybe look to do something to stop it. He does have ulti, so he can prolong it if the wave comes in, but it's not a very cheery sentiment. It feels like you're just going to prolong your untimely demise.
Condi races back. V going to try to stall this out.
Right.
Oh, he hits the minion, so
You
he
have
is able to
tanks?
clear it, but 957 doesn't care.
The tank's in
He
there.
just keeps going. Okay, so the inhibitor is still standing for now as he gets chipped down to half. But so too is that turret, and they're continuing to press forward.
Ooh, here comes the bottom lane minion wave too. So that's a free inhib in the top side. If they're, you know what? If this team has no heart, if they have nothing in their soul, they're gonna go for the mid lane. They're gonna go for each and every inhib. That is the if they are truly evil, that's what they will do. Finish the game, WE.
They got to do it right. You've got a checklist of things you have to tick off, and every single inhibitor is one of them.
I mean, that's a checklist if you want to demoralize newbie. I mean,
to be
it
fair,
will work.
yeah, it's a great way to play the very first series that they've got to set up. That sends a message not only to newbie but to all of the other teams in the LPL.
I mean, if you're newbie, you're going to be hoping for that, that I'm a miracle where, WE prolongs the game a little bit too long. And they find themselves that unlucky team fight. It's not going to happen. You have too many tanks here. You'd have to make 1,000,001 mistakes for at least Maokai to die and lose that 1 GA.
Oh my goodness. Let's not even bring up the opportunity for something like that to happen. WE get ready. They've got their pen poised above the checklist to finally tick off that final item, the third inhibitor. They've taken Baron. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was wrong. Elder Dragon's up in 20 seconds.
Yeah, we don't talk about it.
They've got one more thing they could take, along with Baron.
I really hope they don't. I mean, they're a team that actually just takes Elder Dragon randomly anyways, even though they have other objectives they should probably be looking to push for.
Like this? Yeah, they're totally going for Baron. And then after Baron, they're going to run. Do you think
Let's
they
not
actually
talk
will?
about it. No, I'm not going to jinx it. All right?
Okay.
Like, move away from that. I don't want to talk about it, please. I don't want a game where WE just does random objectives for fun. I just want them to win.
They've got vision set up. They're setting up a death brush, but
that's not a very effective death brush.
That ward doesn't show anything.
Yeah, actually, that's a useless ward. That ward shows absolutely nothing. So they should be pretty free and stalling for that. But you know what? You know what's pretty effective? Minions in your base.
Yes, double super minions are keeping the carry of Cool and V separated from everything else with double Mountain Drake. The Baron gets shredded through by WE. Are they going to do it? Is it Elder Dragon or is it time to end the game? They've got a big minion wave.
The game's over. It's hard to say that, but it really does come to that point where WE, they legitimately have everything given to them.
Pressing forward, they're looking now for the next inhibitor. Arrow still catches Cool. That's the second time that's happened this weekend. Shockwave finds 3 for enormous damage. V is going to eject 2, but the turret has fallen. The inhibitor just respawns in time to die again as WE continue to press forward and look to end the game here as they flash. It's LWX escaping, and WE continue to press forward. They will not be stopped, and they are sending one heck of a message in their first game here in the LPL.
Yeah, that's a pretty loud message that they sent. They said, you know what? Yeah, we can win this game. Yeah, maybe we're the best team in our group, but we're just going to embarrass you on top of that and take every objective that we didn't need to take.
Yeah, if you take a look at the players for WE, this is just another day at the office. Business as usual.
I mean, it's hard to get excited after you knew you were going to win that one 10 minutes before. So they were pretty excited about one of the earlier team fights. And they were like, you know what? If we lose this one, we're going to be angry. That's about it.
I can imagine. Now, joining us on the desk to help break down that game is Indiana Frosco and Black. Welcome back.
Oh, hi.
Yes. So, what did we just witness, Frosco?
So there's a couple of different things. The first thing that I want to cover is kind of this new iteration of WE. Last split, they had the identity of being the Elder Dragon team, not simply because they like to take random Elder Dragons, but because they usually wouldn't come online in terms of setting the tempo until 35, 36 minutes into the game. This time around, WE were much more proactive around the map.
Yeah. You can take a look at the gold graph right now and see that they started to come alive around the 25 to 27 minute mark when it really starts spiking.
But it even started before then. There was so much tempo set from Zero and Condi in particular, continuously invading Swift's blue side jungle and pretty much contesting every single camp and every single buff.
Yeah, I mean, give it a hand to Mystic and Zero, even though it didn't look like Mystic did much damage in comparison to the big Maokai.
Oh my god.
He did so much in that lane. They should not have won that lane. They should have lost that lane 100%.
And I'm really glad that we have kind of the champions on screen right now. I was talking to Rusty backstage a little bit. A big issue here is the fact that Newbie's composition has so much single target damage with the Cassiopeia, with the Varus, with the Lee Sin against a 5v5 team fighting comp. And when Zyra lays down her ultimate and completely zones off 2 of those carries, there's just really nothing Newbie can do with that composition into a WE had drafted.
Yeah, that's the big thing with Zyra. It was the first pick coming out of them as well, where you pick up a Zyra and you say, you know what, already we are set for a teamfight composition. We can pick up our tanks in our top lane and our jungle, and if you really want to look to teamfight us, you have to bring in some tanks as well, and they can't do much because Zyra's zoning you out, and she's really setting the teamfight well for them.
I think that's what we saw from their draft with the Zyra and then 2 tanks. Immediately getting ready for that.
But what was also nice is not only the fact that the Zyra pick came out, but then Zero really shone on that Zyra. You know, making that beautiful flash play bottom where he dodges both the Varus Q as well as the Miasma as it's coming out in the animation, zones off Cassiopeia to delay the ultimate. The amount of times he dodged split-second Cassiopeia ults. I mean, this guy is possibly the most underrated support in the LPL, possibly the world. Like, Zero is world-class. He was in a world final in 2014 across from Samsung White. A lot of people forget him, but not in the LPL.
And see, that play you just talked about, 9 out of 10 times. It was
gorgeous.
And 9 out of 10 times, that would be a play where Newbie wins. That would be a play where, you know, we came back, we made a fantastic play, and that's our victory. We'll push forward on our tempo. But the fact that Zero made that play happen and was able to, you know, put the salt on the wounds with that exhaust and say, you know what, now try and team fight us, right? That was fantastic coming out of him.
And again, we've kind of talked about, as we look at the highlights here, that old identity of Team WE, the fact that they're still a phenomenal 5v5 team, as we see continuous big 5v5s really led by 957, in particular on the power of that Maokai pick. But I know you were a little bit irritated, Raz, last time about like the late Baron call. The thing that still retains from Team WE that makes them an elite team for me is their patience and their decision making. The fact that they didn't want to risk pushing for that last inhibitor, that they would rather go back to the Baron because they knew that Swift was looking for the flank. They knew that there was going to be a Hail Mary. Newbie had to make one last play, and if they lost it there on a 50-50, that would mean the Baron, shows that they've learned from their IMA mistakes. Let's just take the clean, clinical route. We're pushing one last inhibitor. The Baron's up. There's no reason to get ace, lose the Baron, and stall out the game 6 minutes. Let's take it and just clean this up.
And that's the big point for me. You mentioned it, which was prepared. They were very prepared with the flanks coming from Swift, because that was the one way they were going to lose. It was going to be the flank coming from Lee Sin or the flank coming in from Poppy, or both. And what ended up happening was it didn't work out for a Newbie because they were always prepared for it. They always had someone on the flank, and they were always ready to turn that on.
And let's be clear, it has to be a flank. You cannot front to back that composition when you have the big Maokai in front of you. And V was doing the best he could. There were so many amazing Poppy ultimates that game.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, you were super surprised by the Maokai damage. I mean, inherently, that was just the gold value speaking for itself. But let's take a look at the MVP.
Yeah, we've got the MVP on your screen right now. Zero all over the map that game. His first MVP performance of the 2017 split, of course, his first game.
What do you think about that, Frost? Zero taking the trophy back here with the first MVP for them?
I wouldn't have given it to anyone else. Again, not only was this guy a mechanical monster on the Zyra, dodging those Cassiopeia ultimates, setting up these team fights, but the fact is that he really helped set the tempo and spearhead the charge for Team WE to be proactive early.
Yeah, that was a big point for me. Even though you said 22 minutes for them, that they really started to edge forward, WE that was, but they made so many plays before that. They set up early. They looked for that one play on Lee Sin, and guess what? He had a plant on his side.
And so many of their plays kind of dissolved and fizzled out because Mystic was whiffing arrows every single time. I mean, that guy hit like 2 arrows out of 10 thrown.
Fairly optimistic.
So just to let you know, for our next side selection, we will have Newbie playing on blue side, and let's actually start to look forward towards what's going to happen in this match. What can Newbie do to bring it back? Because they were trying to make plays during the early game.
If I'm looking at Newbie here, and you're taking blue side here, you have to really try and leave a lot open. You have to focus on trying to get the Rengar pick that we're starting to see not really getting banned out by some teams, the LeBlanc. You have to get a lot, because I really do love red side this time around, where you can get a lot in, specifically on the second point of the draft phase.
I have to go back to kind of mixing up their damage sources as well between single target and AoE. Again, Team WE, we know that they're a 5v5 team. We know that they're incredibly competent. They had a beautiful wombo combo comp. I mean, that was like pretty textbook. And they just had single target damage and weren't able to compete with the AoE.
Alrighty, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We'll be right back.